Hi everybody, this is Marketing 441 and I'm back today to talk about week 7. And so let's get started. You have 5 learning outcomes for this week. We'll just talk about these here a little bit. Outcome 1, design marketing programs to accomplish specific marketing strategies. This is kind of what you're going to be doing with your social media promotional piece this week. 2, to assess alternative courses of action for addressing marketing problems. We'll be doing that in the discussion board. 3, assess the identified target markets. Uh, Basically, their defining characteristics and their unique relevant needs. So you'll be in that social promotion piece, you're going to be creating something that needs to fit well with your target market. 4, to select appropriate measures to analyze the results of the plan. So you are going to have to do that in your piece, and then prepare a realistic budget. Well, you're going to be thinking about a budget in your social promotion. You're not actually going to create a budget this week. You will do that eventually. All right, so just one chapter this week. Chapter 12, which is called the Marketing of Services. There is actually a whole course here at Davenport called the Marketing of Services. I teach that course. Maybe some of you had me for that course in the past. So as you recall from that course, services are, well, they're quite a bit different than marketing tangible goods. And so the beginning of the chapter talks about some of the characteristics of services, how they're different, that they're intangible, that you can't pick them up, you can't hold them, you can't put them on a store shelf. They are inseparability, basically. They are often produced and consumed simultaneously. So when you get a haircut, the haircut is being produced at the same time that you, the customer, are consuming it, which is much different than if you buy a hammer at a hardware store. Fluctuating demand, typically demand for services is very cyclical, depending on maybe time of year, that sort of thing. It's hard to kind of predict sometimes. And there's more of a customer effort. Lots of times the customer is kind of co-creating the product. So when I get my tax return done every spring, I'm co-creating that tax return with my accountant. I'm doing quite a bit of the work too, because there's just some of the things that she can't do. Versus again, if I buy a hammer at the hardware store, I did really nothing to produce that hammer. So that also talks about what quality means in services marketing, because it's a little harder to tell. In producing goods, I can pick up this pen. I don't know how, you probably can't see it, but I'm holding a pen. I can say, did this pen meet our quality standards? But for a tax return or an advertising plan or a haircut, it's a little harder to measure. So chapter 12 talks about that. And then kind of some of the obstacles to good services marketing, which I would not have really thought about before. Starting at page 194, a lot of times we don't really think of marketing for services because it's just, um, you know, it, it's just a different process. We don't really think, oh, we've now created a new product. We need to go out and market it. Sometimes there's limited competition, which is good, except that it encourages everybody to be exactly the same. I used to work in banking, and it's really, really hard in banking to differentiate your product and to be creative in your marketing. And some other things as well that typically maybe those of us in services marketing, we're not as creative as people in goods marketing, but I do think that's changing. And almost most of you will work your whole career in services marketing. Now, in Michigan, there are still quite a few manufacturers compared to other parts of the country, but the majority of people today do work in services. So probably most of you will be working in services marketing. So this is a good chapter. So, okay, so moving on, your assignments this week, you have 2 of them. First is the discussion, week 7 discussion. You have 2 questions. One is about the distinct characteristics of services, kind of what makes services different than goods. Question 2 is the determinants of service quality, which I kind of talked about just a little bit. The 5 determinants of service quality. So those are your 2 choices. Answer one of them by day 3, and then post replies to other people. But I think you know how the discussions work by now. You have a different kind of assignment this week. You have a social media promotional piece. So Remember, you chose a company to focus for your marketing plan, and you might have chosen a specific product at that company. This week, you are going to kind of create a social media promotional piece. So this would be some kind of a strategy that would be used on social media to promote your product, or the whole company. So in the week 7 folder, it gives a few ideas: a social media main page, a Facebook page, a blog, an online a video that would be distributed online, a contest, a digital slideshow. So you're going to decide, and it really needs to fit with your target audience. So you're going to tell me, and basically you display this project to me in a PowerPoint. So you make a PowerPoint, and I'm going to go look at the instructions here. So basically, via PowerPoint, you first tell me who your target market is. Then you tell me how basically why your choice fits well with that target market. Then describe how the content provides an opportunity for customers to interact with you. Explain the social media item, what it is, and then insert a link to it. So um, you don't have to create the whole thing, but you do have to create kind of maybe the first page or whatever that the customer would see. Now, if you're doing a video, you can do a very rudimentary video. I'm not worried about the production values at all. If you're doing some kind of a social media contest or a social media homepage or something like that, create something that shows what the kind of the landing page would be when a customer clicked. Now, it's really easy to create just a basic HTML file these days. Word can be saved in HTML, Publisher, just about anything else. Now, if you know how to create an actual interactive social media piece on the internet, go ahead and do that and include the link. But if you don't know how to do that, you can, using Word or Publisher or something else, create kind of the landing page, save it as an HTML file, and insert that link. So there does need to be some kind of a link to something I can click. Now, I'm going to be pretty open-minded about what you do this week, and I'm not too worried about your production values. What I'm most worried about is, does this seem like a good fit for your target market, and does it seem realistic for the company that you're focusing on? That's it. So you're going to do a PowerPoint, submit that. The last slide needs to have a link to some kind of a file that you have created. As always, if you have questions about this, please contact me. And again, week 7 folder has the whole document for the whole marketing plan. Again, you are not doing the whole marketing plan this week. You're just doing the social media promotion piece. Okay, so that's it for this week. This will be a challenge for you, but it could be kind of fun. Marketing's supposed to be fun, and I think this assignment could be fun. Gives you a chance to show your creativity, and I'm looking forward to seeing these. So I think that's it. Work hard. I will see you online. Thanks, everybody.